Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
你好，欢迎收听随行汉语 Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin with Steve Hatherley in the studio. Hello, Steve.
Hi, how you doing today?
I'm doing very well, and especially because I've been around. I've been on a business trip, and now I'm back, and I feel like the oxygen in the air is extra abundant.
Yeah, there's an expression in English. I don't know if you have the equivalent in Chinese or not, but it goes like this. You don't know what you got till it's gone. I think that's from a music lyric, but it basically means you don't appreciate the thing that you have until you suddenly don't have it anymore.
Or just suddenly have less of it.
Yeah, now
less than usual.
Yeah, and usually when we use this expression, we're not referring to oxygen.
We're referring to health. Mostly here in China as well, but oxygen, and that is because I've been to Xizang.
I've heard that when you go there, you have to spend half a day
At least.
to acclimate yourself to the climate because there's less oxygen at that elevation, and it really kind of messes with your body a little bit.
It really, really does. Because of there's less oxygen in the air, you breathe normally, but you will feel the short of breath, especially when you're walking and talking like you're on, in Beijing. Because we're in Beijing, the elevation is around 100 meters. And in Xizang, specifically in Lhasa, where we went, it's around 3,700 meters.
Yeah, that's quite the difference. So explain to me and to our audience what that feels like, because I think not too many people ever get to experience that.
To start with, it's different for everybody and different every time you go up there. Your body would adjust to this lack of oxygen input differently. And mostly people would experience a little bit of headache. Some people would experience nausea. Others might find it extra hard to conduct any kind of manual labor work or activity. It's just, and maybe the next day after doing normal things like walking and bearing a backpack on your shoulder, you would feel that your muscles are extra sore. And some other people might even have a little bit of catching a cold kind of symptoms.
Okay.
All those fall into the category of having a little bit of 高反.
高反.
高 referring to 高原. 高原 is the high plateau. 高 means high. And 原 is a vast land. We say 平原. 平原 is the plain, is where we are at. It's 平 means flat, but here it also means that it's not that high. Whereas 高 means high, and 高原, high plateau. And 反 refers to 反应.
反应.
反应 means reflect. Or react to. So 高原反应.
Reacting to the height.
Yes.
Reacting to the elevation.
High altitude sickness in Chinese is your body is simply reacting to the high plateau.
So when you arrive there, you step off the plane and you can feel it immediately, but you can't.
That's the thing. To start with, for everybody it's different. For every time it's different. For me, the first time for me was around 4 years ago, and I didn't go directly to above 3,700 meters. I went to around 2,000 meters. And after being there for around 10-15 minutes, I started to have the headache symptom. But for this time, I went up there directly to 3,700, supposed to feel even worse, yet I didn't. After half an hour being there, I started to feel a little bit of headache, but I can still walk and talk regularly. But I think many of my colleagues are experiencing the symptoms more severe than I did. Again, for everybody, for every time, it can be different. So you have to try for yourself, Steve.
So what's the general advice then? You have to just kind of relax for about half a day or so?
Well, I think it depends on how you feel. Because for most people go to Xizang to relax, to enjoy the beautiful, beautiful natural view. There you feel like the sky is extra blue. It's closer. It really is closer, and it feels closer. It looks closer. And it's like someone is taking away a shelter or a piece of fabric in front of your eyes. Everything is super clean, and it feels like everything is closer. Or maybe someone is putting a set of filter in front of your eyes to make everything super colorful. So the thing is, for most people, they go to Xizang to enjoy a vacation, to enjoy the view, the culture, the sightseeing, and it is okay to relax. So if you're planning a trip to Xizang, definitely give yourself a day or two to adjust to the environment, to the high altitude, but you do not have to do nothing just for the adjusting period. You can still go around. Just make sure that you do not want to climb a mountain on the first day. That'll do.
I was going to ask you what it means to chill out or become acclimated. I wondered if that means you have to stay in your hotel room and just lay on the bed. Oh, you just kind of walk around, but don't do anything strenuous.
Yes. And also some people would say do not get oxygen inhale because you want to adjust to it.
Yeah.
But I do not see that necessary. Again, still, depending on your purpose. If you really just want to adjust to local environment and you want to stay there longer and you want to be able to walk around, to run around, sure, you can force yourself to adjust to the environment with less oxygen in the air, but you don't really have to. You can carry oxygen tanks all the time. You can buy oxygen tanks in any tourist destination.
What do you mean a tank?
A tiny little can.
Okay.
An oxygen can that can ease the symptom.
And then it straps around the back of your head?
There are different types. There are so many different types. You can choose the one that you want. We call it 氧气瓶. Ping is like a bottle.
Yeah.
So it's like a beer can kind of stuff. It's just bigger, a little bit longer. And it has this mask on top of it, and use the mask to inhale a little more oxygen to ease the symptoms.
I see. So if you want, you can use that and don't give your body... Well, your body doesn't need to adjust in that.
If it does bother you a lot.
Yeah. Last question. After a half a day or a day, then everything just goes back to normal for your body? You feel totally fine?
You're still in a situation with less oxygen in the air, so with less oxygen that your body normally requires. So no, you cannot just jump, I don't know, play rope jump for 200 times or climb a mountain. You still feel it a little bit. It's just that it does not bother you as much.
Wow, what an experience.
Yes,
someday.
It was really fun. And the thing about Xizang is that I was there 4 years ago. I learned about it. I also read news stories about it. And then I went back. And my biggest impression is that the speed of development in Xizang is so fast, much faster than I expected.
For example?
Faster than comparing to, I don't know, maybe here in Beijing. Because 4 years ago, for example, I'm not really sure if everybody knows this, but in Xizang, in a 高原环境, 高原 high plateau, the traditional industry would definitely be agriculture and relatively simple agriculture because of the harsh environment. You would have less oxygen in the air and the sunlight is much stronger on the high plateau. And the temperature difference, we call it 温差.
温差?
温 means 温度.
温度.
温度 is temperature. 差 is 差别. So the temperature difference is quite drastic comparing days and nights, meaning that
really cold at night, I guess.
Really cold at night and really, really hot during daytime.
Yeah.
And also the wind is extra strong. And with all that, any kind of industry would find it hard to take root in Xizang. Meaning that 4 years ago when I was there, we were talking about building, well, at that time, Because transportation construction and infrastructure is quite vital to the development of any region. At that time, we've already got really decent transportation system. We've got railway, we've got highway, and I flew there, so it's okay. There are airports. It's already quite well. But with all that already in place, and after 4 years, we were able to see the development of all these different types of infrastructures. You see technology get onto the high plateau and empowering these different infrastructures. It's quite fun.
Was there one thing that stood out to you?
So many, to
Really?
be honest.
Okay.
The reason I brought about traditional pillar industry, which is agriculture industry, is that for agriculture industry, 农业,
农业.
yes, there traditionally there's the barley, 青稞.
青稞.
青稞is really not a commonly used word. I think it's only very commonly used in Xizang.
Yeah, I think in most languages around the world, people don't use the word barley every day, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
but barley has been so important for people living in Xizang. It has been their staple food for hundreds, if not 1,000 years, because it's almost the only type of plant that can grow in Xizang.
Okay.
It's the kind of plant that can grow best on the latitude, on the elevation from 2,500 to 4,500
Yeah.
meters above sea level, which means it's perfect for Xizang and not very common to see elsewhere, which explains how come we do not see it quite often, even the Chinese word 青稞. So 青稞is kind of like a representation of the high plateau. If we talk about 青稞, no matter 青稞面, so it's 青稞noodle, or 青稞粉, 青稞powder, as in flour, 青稞饼, 青稞cake, we are thinking about Xizang.
Okay. How do the people of the region feel about that? Because it's just incorporated into all of... Do they... I guess they either really, really love it or they're just kind of sick of it.
They used to really, really love it. And, we even went to visit the Xizang Museum, and one of the exhibits was a bag, a barley bag or zamba bag. Zamba is another food in Xizang that's made of 青稞or can be made out of 青稞. And this zamba bag is a very important relic representing a history around 500 years ago. So the bag is made from leather. It's waterproof. The thing is, the culture revolves around barley.
Yeah.
Around 青稞, and that's how we remember them. And the thing is, previously, you would think of 青稞as staple food, not that smooth on the tongue texture kind of staple food. But now people in Xizang, they, again, would use 青稞to decorate their desserts, decorate the cake.
Okay, yeah.
And they use it as sprinkles on yogurt. They use it on, I think, as a decorative type of ingredient on different types of food. It's no longer just a staple food. It's more like an icon, and they're using it. They're being very innovative about it. They are exporting it to other countries, neighboring countries like Nepal, Bhutan, and all these are happening because they are embracing new technologies.
Yeah, they've got the infrastructure now.
Yes, and they can further process the plant. They can further develop different ways to cook barley, so barley does not taste so rough. It can taste smoother. So that kind of change makes me happy, puts a smile on my face.
And for the community, that advancement would be huge for them, being able to take advantage of the technology that wasn't there before and allow them to take advantage of the barley.
Yes.
In different ways.
And I'm curious, you've never been to Xizang. What is your impression of the place, especially when it comes to the industry, or what do people live by there? Do you have any imagination?
I don't have any knowledge, but I have assumptions. The beauty of the landscape, that part of the earth, is stunning from what I've seen. But in terms of how people live, I would guess taking advantage of the resources of the land would be essential for their existence. But what that means, I don't know the answer to what that means. So learning about barley today was very educational for me because I was unaware of that. Any other industries, I wouldn't even know where to guess, because being from Nova Scotia in Canada and living in Beijing and having lived in Korea, I've never lived at that elevation before. So I don't have any life experience with that. So I literally have no idea.
Well, before going to Xizang, I was thinking it's a scarcely populated area. There are vast land, and because of the altitude, it's hard for most plant to grow on the high plateau. So after being as high as, I think, more than 4,000 meters, you would barely see that many trees.
You wouldn't see much, right?
You wouldn't see much. It's more
vegetation.
No, not many vegetation anymore.
Yeah.
No, some bush and maybe grass, but no trees. So I was thinking, it will be a good place to conduct, for example, a wind farm, perhaps, or maybe some solar farms, so that you can put a lot of solar panel because, well, the sunlight is around 3,500 hours a year.
But then you've got to transfer that energy.
Thank you. See, you are smarter than I was when I was thinking about all these. I thought it was a good idea.
You can get the energy there. Then you got to send it somewhere.
And it's not even as easy because we went to visit and interviewed in a clean energy company. And we asked them, why don't you do this here in Xizang? The resources is there. It's abundant. We say 资源丰富. 资源 is resource, and 丰富 is abundant. It's all over there. 丰富 carries the meaning of both the quantity is astonishing and the variety is also so much, because not only are we talking about solar power, wind power, we're also talking about hydropower. And all that can be found in Xizang. And they say, the first problem you need to solve is to transport all the equipment to Xizang first.
Yep.
Because you cannot manufacture the huge wind turbine in Xizang. There's no factory there. So you need to disassemble them first. Before you even put them together, you disassemble them and you transport them to Xizang. And the funny thing is, because they're so huge, one, the cars transporting these equipment, these different huge parts, these spaceship type of parts.
Yeah, they need to be huge. So you need the roads to get them up there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The roads, the bridges, the tunnels should be high enough.
Yeah.
The bridge should be able to bear that heaviness of the car as well as the equipment. All that need to be in place first. And the reason that we're able to now actually see those factories, see those wind farms, is because around 4 years ago, when I visited, the infrastructure got more and more complete. And the roads, the railways are able to transport these huge parts onto the place where you're thinking about planting or building a wind farm, building a plantation of clean energy. And then because of the improvement of infrastructure, people, workers there are able to have enough access to unlimited almost amount of oxygen. So when they're working, if they need the oxygen, they can have it. So they can assemble all these parts together and put them on the high plateau.
Really cool, isn't it?
Really cool.
Really cool, but yet
reasonable.
so basic.
Yes.
In a way, so advanced and so complicated, but yet also so basic at the same time, right? Like, we have this stuff here, but how do we get it over there?
There, yes.
Right?
And
how do we solve that problem?
In Chinese, we call these kind of electricity generated by clean energy as 绿电.
绿电.
绿.
绿.
绿 is green.
啊.
电 is electricity.
绿电.
Yes. Green electricity or clean energy. And like you said, how do you transmit these green electricity out of Xizang to a place where it's needed? That is another question that these smart companies and local people are trying to solve, and they solved it. That is to improve the level of sophistication of the transmission grid, of the ultra high voltage grids, the cables, making sure that, because you can't really store all the energy since it's the volume is simply just too large. So you have to transmit them out. And that is another round of updating the equipment, improving the infrastructure, making sure the grid, the technology there is up to standard. So I think it's because of the abundant resource, 丰富的资源, the need to do all these things and transmit them out. And over the course of the 4 years, there has been a large-scale updating of the, again, transportation system. Previously, it's already very easy to travel from the, for example, capital city or provincial capital of Sichuan province, Chengdu. It's really easy to travel from Chengdu to Lhasa already. But in order to go to relatively even more remote counties and cities and even township, the roads need to be further extend to these places. And the railways, as well as all these infrastructure construction, needs to be improved.
Question. Do the people embrace this? Because the reason I ask that is because I was watching a documentary on television the other day about region in Yunnan, and it was very high up. The elevation was quite high, and the community that lived up there, they have a lot of traditions. I don't know how to say it properly, but the staggered rice fields that kind of go down the side of the mountain, plus their traditional dances and just their way of life. And the documentary taught me that community had been living there for over 1,000 years. So why I asked that question about do they embrace this? Because these types of advancements in their community would mean major, major, major changes to their way of life, right? And I guess some people would see that as a very, very positive thing, but I'm wondering if the traditionalists might see this as a step away from their traditional way of living.
The traditionalists' opinions are definitely honored and respected, but at the same time, when their kids and their grandkids, when they, well, first of all, almost all of them have access to the internet. They get to see the outside world through their phone, through their computers already. And if they're interested, and when they're interested in the outside world, they would also think about changing their lifestyle a little bit. So it's more like a two-way street. We are providing that by saying we, I mean local government is providing that to local people. And for those who want to embrace the changes, the improvement, they can. Yet, for those who want to stay in their traditional way of living, they still definitely have the choice. We didn't get the chance to actually go to this village in my next story, yet we talked to them a little bit. And the story of their village is that they live in a very remote village. And in order to go to that village, you need to start from a county level city in already a relatively far away place comparing to Lhasa in Zhikazi. You have to start from Zhikazi, and from there, people need to travel. They need to go over 4,000 meter high mountains.
Okay.
To go to that village.
Oh, wow. It's very remote.
It's how remote it was. And the village, because of the transportation, because of their location, it was hard for them to make a living in different ways. They can only rely on local agriculture, which means previously it was a poverty-stricken area. Yet, a green power company found the village and realized that they can install and can put some solar panel on the roof of the village, on the roof of many houses in the village. And they did that. And they also put the power grid into the village. They also linked the village with the entire power grid in Xizang. And then local people realized that every time when they open their eyes, when sun rises, these solar panels started to make electricity. The electricity can be sold to outside world, generating money for their village, allowing them to buy stuff, to enjoy life even better. And they've become a much happier village.
Wow. The world is filled with so many different places. Many people live in ways that are almost unthinkable to big city folk like New Yorkers or Beijingers or Shanghaiers or It's cool to see that, I would think.
It's really cool to see that.
Yeah.
And people are very welcoming. Even when we say that they're embracing the modern way of living, it's still not like in mega cities.
Sure.
In mega cities, you do not really say hi to strangers. Yet when we're there,
Oh, yeah.
we look different to start with
Yeah.
because we are not as tan as people living in Xizang. And I think there's still that huge curiosity in our eyes showcasing that we're tourists or we are not local people. So when they see them, they would give me this very shy yet welcoming smile. And because most local people still use Tibetan language,
Yeah.
they speak 藏语. 藏 is 西藏 and 语 is 语言. It's still, especially, I mean, for the younger generation, most of the younger people would be able to speak Mandarin. We can talk to each other because they go attend university outside of Xizang, around the country. They know how to speak Mandarin. But for elder folks, they do not know how to speak Mandarin that fluently. They know a little bit, saying hi, saying you're welcome, something like that. But it's hard for us to communicate. But still, that welcoming smile on their face is so precious.
Yeah, very warm. Make you feel welcome.
Make you feel welcome. And they would also provide you with all different types of food. Speaking of which,
Please tell me.
on top of the very delicious yak barbecue that I enjoyed in Lhasa.
Yak barbecue.
Yes, so delicious and so fresh. It's a little, I think it still falls into the category of cattle meat, of beef. Yet it's a bit different.
How? Is it gamey at all? Do you know what I mean by gamey?
I think it's more milky.
Milky. I don't know what that means. What do you mean milky?
You have that creamy or cheese taste in it, just a little bit of it. It's still really close to steak.
Okay.
I think it's partly because the meat is so fresh.
Yeah.
And when I say barbecue, it's sliced into really thin meat slices and put on the iron plate and some iron bars. It's that Chinese type of barbecue. And with the right sauce, the dipping sauce is really tasty.
So it doesn't look like a steak that you would...
No, it's not that
It's
thick.
thinner.
It's thinner, much thinner.
That's how they prepare it.
Yes, it's really delicious.
Ah.
And the last time I was in Xizang, I was educated 4 years ago. I was educated that because of the harsh environment, it's hard for people to enjoy as much vegetable as we can here in Beijing or on outside of the high plateau. And this time when I was there, I saw a lot of really huge watermelon. Very sweet, very delicious.
But those would be imported, right?
No, they were born.
They grow them there?
They grow them there.
Are they the same size, the same texture?
Yes, they selected some different types of watermelon breed that can be suitable for the local environment. So traditionally, they can only grow barley there. Now they're growing watermelon, 西瓜. They're growing tomatoes, 西红柿 or 番茄.
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 Yes, and they're growing grapes, 葡萄.
葡萄.
You know, 葡萄 grapes are really famous in Xizang. It's kind of like their local specialty already.
Okay.
They're good at growing that. And also cherry, 樱桃.
樱桃.
And strawberry, 草莓.
草莓.
And the best thing is, local farmer told me previously they were only able to grow all these different types of plants, these vegetables and fruits inside a greenhouse. Yet with the development of different breeds, now they're able to grow, for example, lemon and also plums and peach outside. Oh, and also apples outside of the greenhouse, meaning that you can do it in your yard and everyone would be able to enjoy it. And definitely that is because of the development of different breeds. So my general feeling is that because of the improvement in all of the different industries, we are making the impossible possible. And when that is happening on a high plateau and used to be so impossible place, the construction is so stark and so impressive.
And those people would be absolute experts because that's 1,000+ years of knowledge shared from generation to generation on farming and how to get the most out of what you're planting. And then when you combine that knowledge with up-to-date technology.
Yes.
Right? It just makes things so much easier for the members of the community, I would think.
It feels like we've leaped over a certain barrier.
Yeah.
And after that, it's so bright and it's so full of possibilities. It's a weird feeling, to be honest.
It must be weird.
For them.
Well, no, it must be weird to visit there and see that and then come back to Beijing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And here on the high plateau, we get to see all types of industries. We're talking about agriculture mostly and also new energy, but there are so many more. There's a live streaming base on the high plateau.
A what? A live streaming base.
A live streaming company allowing live streamers and companies to go to their company and rent the place, start doing live streams, selling.
I was going to say,
Yes, it's e-commerce platform.
Right, okay.
And also logistics, and also they're selling their product outside of China, outside to other neighboring countries. They're also importing different stuff. They're conducting biopharmaceutical experiment on a high plateau area because the environment is so different and so special. And all these things are happening in Xizang.
Can I watch a live stream and buy some yak meat?
You definitely should.
And have it delivered to Beijing?
Yes.
You can?
You can.
Amazing.
Yes.
I have a new goal.
And that is the picture of the industry development in Xizang. And hopefully we'll be able to do another Takeaway Chinese talking about the cultural side of Xizang, because it's, in my opinion, even more fascinating.
Of course.
And that brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin with Steve Hatherley here in the studio. For more episodes of the show, you can visit our website at radio.cgtn.com and go to the column podcast. You can also listen to the show and read the script there. Find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Just search for Takeaway Chinese. Don't forget to leave your questions, comments, and ratings. 感谢收听，我们下次再见。
Thank you so much for having me, and we'll see you next time.